All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, as always, one of all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakach like a double honors to our apostles at Great Millstone, who taught us his truth, and a sincere shalom to the elect out there teaching his truth in all honesty and sincerity in these last days. All right, and we're here to prophesy, okay? Got a couple things running through our minds to the spirit, and one of the things that I was thinking about was I'm not trying to get too much into the Charlie Kirk thing because it's like a week old, but it just goes to show you, that the Lord is not dealing with those people over in our land, okay, in the land of Israel right now, and he's not dealing with these Edomites, okay, because you look at what the face of the church is now, and it's all pretty much clean shaven, pork eating Edomites, man. I seen a video of him debating some kids from Cambridge University, which is like one of the top universities in the world. In fact, I believe, the Apocrypha was authorized by Cambridge University. And, he was getting into the whole, alphabet people thing, and he was right about that. He actually brought out and quoted scriptures during that so-called debate. But one of the things that they got into was they were challenging him on Israel, on Iran, on America, on Russia, on Ukraine, and he's just totally lost like these fucking Christians are, man. Okay, those are not the biblical Israelites over there. And we're gonna start off with Revelation 2:9. I know thy works, and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews, and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Okay? The synagogue of Satan, man. They pretty much deceived the whole world into thinking that they're the true Israelites. And if they're so poor, why do they own? Okay, why do they own all the central banks? Why do they own all the media platforms, all the social media platforms, man? You can't even say nothing against these people without getting deplatformed. Mm-hmm. Is that an oppressed people? Does that sound like somebody a nation that needs to come back into their nationality and get closer to the Most High? No, the world is under their leadership right now, man, under their rulership. And look at the fucking chaos you got going on in the world, man. And one of the things that Mr. Kirk wasn't explaining, he wasn't getting into any prophecies, man. They were asking him about Israel and America possibly bombing Iran. He wasn't mentioning nothing about World War III. Okay, he wasn't mentioning nothing about who the Israelites really were, man. He was sitting there talking about furthering America and creating peace in the world. That the Lord is going to create peace in the world by bringing destruction, by bringing down this kingdom and setting up another. That's in Psalm 75.
Okay, he wasn't talking about the chip.
Yeah,
wasn't really bringing up any prophecies, but he pretty much was just a peon anyway. Mm-hmm. This whole thing about this dude is blown over proportion.
But he's the face. He was like the face of the church, and all you Christians teach that nonsense, man. And you're losing control over the narrative. That's why you're all freaking out. Okay? And I want to get
because right now Esau is having an attack on free speech. That's pretty much what he's cracking down on. You got a lot of people in this society who lost their jobs due to talking down on that situation. But it's really Esau it's an opportunity for Esau to crack down on free speech, because a lot of, in America for so long, people have been able to say what they wanted to say, and you could, make jokes about the leadership in this society, like Jimmy Kimmel. Like he basically
Yep.
he always cracked on Trump. He always made jokes about Trump. America is one of those countries where a comedian could talk shit about, the president and all of that. Right? A lot of countries you can't do that, but in America you can. But as soon as Jimmy Kimmel said something about the CK dude, he lost his show. But that's Esau showing you that he's cracking down. And the only thing that he doesn't have control over is the prophets. The prophets can pretty much say what they want when they want about this man's destruction, about his downfall, and etc. Because we were sanctioned. I can never say that word. Sanctioned by Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to do what we do. The world can't blackball us or take endorsements and shows and riches from us, because we don't have any of those things. What you gonna do? Only thing you can do is demonize us, right? But you can't take nothing from us. We already on the bottom of the barrel.
Look at what these devils are. I've seen this shit. These devils, they completely leveled Gaza, man. They completely leveled that fucking place, man. And that's prophecy. It says Gaza shall be a ruinous heap. I think they killed something like almost 750,000 Palestinians, and there's only like 1.2 million in that city. They did. That's genocide right there, man.
You get a Micah, I think it's 2, where it says they devise iniquity, because that's what Esau does. He's a master manipulator, and he devises iniquity towards other nations. He steals resources. He overtakes, he overkills. You got it? Go ahead.
Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity. And devise means basically to create, okay? And work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand.
Yeah, so he devises iniquity, and right now the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, of course, Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. The Lord gave him a power, a particular power to do these things, to be the hammer of the earth. That's what Babylon is known as, the hammer of the earth, right? And what does a hammer do? A hammer smashes, because technically America is the most powerful nation to ever exist. But that doesn't mean it's never going to be taken down, okay? It's definitely going to be taken down, just like all the other ancient kingdoms, okay? Yeah. So the ways of this society and its existence is definitely coming to an end.
And the scriptures talk about how the least of the flock shall draw them out. America is like the military puppet of those 1948ers, man. They always go into whatever country to do their bidding. They're always intercepting when a nation shoots rockets or missiles on Israel. America's always got their fighter jets in the air, and they're trying to intercept. Spending billions and billions of dollars. They get the latest technology that Babylon has militarily. And meanwhile, you have on the flip side, you have these elites among the Amalekites that run the media, and they formulate this society. They create this culture to destroy this place at the same time, man.
Yeah, they come up with
and that's like it's primarily targeted at you, Jakes, man. The Amalekites created black culture, man.
Yeah, black culture, social media, these different trends that you see, is all created to distract you. Bread and circus. Come on, man. You got Mike Tyson about to fight Floyd Mayweather. Ain't nobody gonna watch that shit,
man. Well, honestly, everybody's gonna watch it, but it's it's
Yeah,
so
I ain't
stupid.
if you like
It's
if you
stupid,
like
man.
real fights, you ain't gonna watch that shit. I can see people watching it, of course, but me personally, I ain't watching it. To me, that's like that was like when Tyson fought Jake Paul. You know, it was hype, but it ain't worth
It
watching,
was
man.
like one of the worst fights you could ever
Yeah,
possibly see. Just catch the highlights on the YouTube shorts or whatever. That's all you got to do these days. You got to be all absorbed into that shit, man. You know. Anyways, this is back in Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand, and it is in the power of their hand, man. Okay, all this shit going on the world stage, it's all carefully crafted and coordinated. All the things going on with this upcoming digital economic system, it's all uh, carefully coordinated, man. You know, because they're about to make their move very soon.
mm-hmm.
Very soon. You just had Federal Reserve cut interest rates. Okay, they're moving, and all the money went into AI and digital currencies and Web3 startups. You know, because every time the Fed commits to doing a certain amount of interest rate cuts throughout this year or next year, that's usually the start of a new business cycle. Okay, new industries and sectors emerge and other ones go away when that happens, man. You know, they're calling it the launch of Web3. And you had Nvidia, uh, who's the largest AI company in the world. They're working with I guess they bought like $5 billion worth of Intel, and they're going to start putting their AI and GPU chips in their processors. You know, it's a huge historic partnership, man.
I wanted to read this real quick. So I went to Chat GPT and I typed in, "Do the elite create distractions?" Because we were just talking about bread and circus, and it says that the idea that the elite create distractions is a common theme in political commentary, conspiracy theories, and media criticism. Let's unpack it clearly and honestly. It says, yes, sometimes powerful groups do use distractions strategically. History shows that governments, corporations, and influential individuals have used distraction or misdirection as a tactic. This can happen through media manipulation, highlighting entertainment, scandals, or fear based stories to shift attention away from the economic or political issues. And that's what these devils do, man. Okay? Through the media manipulation, it says highlighting entertainment. We just talked about these different fights they coming up with, uh, scandals or fear-based stories to shift attention. Fear-based stories, right? They'll push fear in the media. They'll shift your attention towards something else, so your mind can think, oh, we focused on this. They might do a celebrity death. So somebody might die. Some famous person might die. Next thing you know, oh, everybody's talking about it, right? It says timing of announcements, releasing controversial policies when public attention is elsewhere. During a crisis, holiday, or major sports event like the Super Bowl, right? The NBA Finals, the Stanley Cup, okay? Christmas, when they know everybody's fucking opening up gifts in the morning, not paying attention to shit except what they got for their kids and calling family members and doing all of this other shit. Meanwhile they back passing some major bill or creating some major wickedness going on, man. Or Christmas Eve when you drunk with this fucking Babylonian juice, man. Okay? It says shaping narratives to maintain control or suppress dissent. All right? So yeah, man, these they definitely use sports. You know, even though we all watch sports, right? There's nothing wrong with it, as long as you know that it's entertainment, right? That's why they do these types of things, man. to keep the, like on Sunday, pretty much everybody watches football. If it's a big playoff game or something like that, everybody's mind is on that. You know, the community is talking about it. Wherever the locals are talking about it.
You scroll through the TikTok live streams. I've been seeing everybody's playing the new 2K, NBA 2K
video games.
2 months ago it was Madden, or last month it was Madden all month. Now it's 2K. Just imagine if GTA 6 ever comes out.
Oh yeah, the internet will crash. It'll crash the internet. But if you a spiritual man, you know, you understand that, you know, you do those things in moderation. You know, it's nothing wrong with brothers listening to music or watching sports, or, you know, if you got a video game, you play your game and shit, you know, as long as it's not consuming you. You know, none of us play the video game 9 hours a day. We don't, you know.
And one thing you notice,
we know somebody who did that.
Yeah.
More than 9 hours.
19
hours a day.
Man, and another thing is, like, you might have been in that, you might have really been into that, but even now, you're really not into it like you used to. It's just pretty much to, you know, entertain you a little bit and pass time. Yeah.
You know,
you don't have the same fire and interest into it. You know, like these people, they get all absorbed into these.
Some of these streamers, dude, these dudes be streaming like 12 hours a day,
and they're screaming and yelling and shit.
Yeah,
over football games and shit. It's like,
and you know, it may be fun, but you know, even in the midst of having fun, you got to be serious. You know, because the scriptures tell us that Yahweh Shai is gonna come as a thief. Now we're not those brothers. We don't walk with boards up our asses like we super Christians and tell it, bro, you know, you can't cuss, brother. You know, don't drink. You know, hey man, we do our thing, but you know, when you're a prophet and you're a teacher, you know, you give the right message, man. You know, you give the right message. You tell brothers what they should and shouldn't do. And for the most part, if your spirit is right, you know, every day you're gonna think about this truth, man. Every day, no matter what. It's not a day that goes by that I don't think about the truth. And I'm literally saying literal. Like I don't go a whole day without thinking about the truth. Never. You know, it's kind of like impossible to do. It's like you can't even do that.
Man, I was at the gym the other day, and one of the young workers there, she's only in like her mid-20s, had a fucking panic attack and laid her on the floor. They had the fucking ambulance there and shit. I'm like,
that made you think about the Lord.
Yeah, the Lord is making these young people so fucking soft to where they can't even handle basic jobs where they sit around and play on their phone all day, man. That's really all done by a Lord, and He put these devils in charge. That's another device of these 1948ers, man. They're making these people all weak-minded, so that when push comes to shove and they force that C-hip, the people line up like fucking cattle for it because they're already indoctrinated slaves, man, and they already can't handle stress because the times that are coming are going to be so serious, man. You know, we always bring out martial law, Jacob's trouble, famines, pestilences.
Feminism, being a feminist and a feminine is the new thing in the earth. Like you said, a lot of people can't handle stress. They can't handle a tough time. You know, the doctor told my girl when she got blood work, she got to fast for 6 hours. She said, I'm almost passed out when I did that last time. Yeah. She said, I almost passed out it was 8 hours. It was an 8 hour.
Well, you sleep for fucking.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said, just don't eat before you go to bed. But the fact that people, you know, if I don't eat for 8 hours, I'm gonna pass out. You know, people are weak, man. You know, and like I said, being an effeminate is a top thing in this society. You got these athletes fucking painting their nails and shit, man. You know, you got it's a new trend. I think it's in the state of Georgia or Atlanta or something, whatever, where you got these jakes wearing skirts. You know, it's a fashion trend, man.
And this is why we're vexed with the filth, just like Lot. We're vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked, man. Because when we see that shit, it bothers us. Yeah, I'll hold this. So
Because
I got a few pulled up too.
we know that shit is not right, man. You know, but you can't fully execute the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord in this society. You know, you gotta basically like kind of eat it. If you see wickedness, you gotta eat it. You know, yeah, you could throw a curse up or whatever, but you can't do what the law says do.
Yeah, you gotta develop thick
Patience.
skin. You
Yeah,
gotta
thick
let
skin.
it. You gotta kind of like get an armor and just let it bounce off you. Because if you get too absorbed into it, man, you'll wear yourself out.
Mhm.
You know, caring too much. I mean, yeah, we care about what's going on with our people, man. You know, because they're just mentally they're not just physically enslaved like back when they were in chains and iron, but now it's more of a mental enslavement, man. You know, and spiritual enslavement, man. You know, but you can't let that shit get to you. This is 2 Peter 2:4. For if the Most High spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment.
Yeah, that's these bodies.
Mm-hmm. And spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the eighth person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly.
And right now, hey, this is the new world of the ungodly, and this one is gonna flood with thermonuclear destruction.
Yep, fire, the second death.
And actually, now this is worse than what Noah and them went through. This is an enhanced world of ungodly. I mean, you could totally transform yourself into something that you're not. Yep. And not even look like what you really are and deceive many. Just that alone right there, man, is pure. They couldn't do that back then.
They weren't giving people all kinds of happy pills back then, man.
Yeah, man.
Now you got an issue, they just give you a pill for it. That witch's brew. You know, this is why mental health, there's a serious mental health crisis in especially in Babylon, man. All Western societies, man.
Yeah, people are drugged out. People are confused. People, like the brother said, people have mental health issues. People, they don't know if they want to be a man or a woman. They're bipolar. You know, the children are these kids are wicked, man. These little monsters.
People are full of anxiety all the fucking time, man.
People don't even discipline their kids anymore, man. You know, that's why you got these little monsters, these little Babylonian monsters running around. This place is outright confusion. And if you a righteous man, there's no way in hell you want to see society continue to go. There's no way. Paul don't give a fuck how much fun you think this place is. This place is, it's very vexing, man. And America is expensive now, man.
America it was a little easier when you had a little change in your pocket, man. Everybody's living paycheck to paycheck now.
America's expensive, man. You know it's expensive when you got Edomites on TikTok crying because they can't afford their daily lives. Homelessness in this place is at an all-time high, man. Don't you know if the elite, if they were righteous, they could solve homelessness. They're trillionaires,
and it wouldn't even be a drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
They would still be absolutely filthy rich.
They would still have everything they need. But that's Esau for you. He's a hoarder of resources. He don't give a damn. You know, he was programmed that way,
and it's all done by design, man.
Yeah.
Because when this economy fully collapses. Because right now it's kind of, they're controlling the collapse, making sure that everything's going in the right places, everything's, organized the right way. But what's the motto of the World Economic Forum? You shall own nothing and be happy. You know, they openly talk about these 15-minute cities, man. Eventually, I mean, think about the in New York State, right? Average taxes on a house around here is between $5,000 to $7,000 a year.
People brag about owning a house, but the bank owns the house. You don't really own the house. Because if you can't pay the taxes on that house, who's gonna come get it? The bank. If you own something, that means no one can take it. Like you better off saying like, I own the car if you bought it outright, because you know you could take the plates off and it could still be yours, but you can't drive it, right? It's still your car. But a house, now they coming to get they coming to get that joint, man.
Even if your water gets shut off, you can't even live there.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be paying all your taxes and everything. The water, you know, health codes and all kinds of shit, man.
Mm-hmm. Esau will come and take your shit. Go ahead, so we got off topic.
2 Peter 2:6, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, which this place is going to be like a giant version of Sodom and Gomorrah being turned to ashes. Man.
Ashes everywhere. Y'all think y'all was running down the street when them towers fell? There's gonna be a lot more feet running when them nukes hit, man.
And there's going to be a serious shitstorm even before that, leading up to that, and the hour of temptation.
Yeah.
Condemn them with an overthrow, making them an ensample unto those that after should live ungodly.
Yeah, so Sodom and Gomorrah was made an example for the people. And obviously, you know, if you look in today, hey, people ain't looking at that and saying, oh, we shouldn't live this way. This world is completely out of order. You know, people forget about what the Lord did to Sodom and Gomorrah. You know, but we did it. You know, and America's known as what? Spiritually Sodom and Egypt. So now Sodom and Egypt is gonna get hit.
Yep.
You know, hey man, this destruction, man, is it's gonna be something to behold. You better hope that you in a chariot. You know, I know we hope we in one.
And the time is, the clock is ticking, man. The gates of mercy are only gonna be open for so long.
Okay? We're gonna have to get through what happens before the destruction, like y'all just said. We're gonna have to get through before the series of events that take place on the earth before the destruction. It's gonna be, when we say all out chaos in the streets, yeah, you might hear us say that, and then they always say that. But when this shit happens, it's gonna be this earth is gonna be dark, man. The lights is gonna shut off. It's gonna be dark, and the only thing that we gonna have is Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. I did a lesson today about this dude at my job, talking about how he got guns and food, and his dad's got land, and all he got to do is make it a mile to his dad's house, and all of his family meet up. They're gonna be okay. That's the wrong mindset to be in, because ain't nothing he said pointed to the Lord. Nothing he said, he didn't have the Lord at the forefront.
Ain't none of your plans guaranteed.
None of that shit is guaranteed without the Lord, man. You seen the purge, right? A lot of those people had weapons, and they were still getting killed. So it don't matter what you have, man. You gotta have, what you need to have is the angels around you. That's what's gonna protect you. All right, not no carnal weapons, man. Go ahead.
The scriptures talk about how there's going to be invading one another for great tribulation and for lack of bread.
Lack of bread, yep.
You know, it's pretty much going to be every man for himself. Okay. And hey, it's since Day of Atonement's coming up, it's beneficial to get used to going without. You know, it really is. Because, like you were saying, a lot of these people, they can't go 8 hours. They can't go 12. You tell somebody to fast, they got something going on, and they act like it's the biggest deal in the world. Okay, you tell somebody an intermittent fast for a health issue, oh, just go 16 to 18 hours. You know, maybe 4 or 5 days a week fast, maybe 16 to 20 hours or whatever. And their problem should pretty much go away, and that's a big issue, man. But yet they'd rather live with the fucking issue. They'd rather live with the health problem.
I think the Day of Atonement is the 30th.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was the 20th, but for you brothers out there that's listening, it's the 30th. You know, so me personally, man, I plan on resetting my body after that day, doing just changing up, because I know Apostle Kabar been pushing that. So I figured that's my opportunity. I should have been doing it, but the Day of Atonement is a good fresh start, But,
Well, one of the things that I've been doing is, and every brother's gonna have their own routine. Uh, is I keep my carbohydrates like earlier in the day or around my workout time, and then later on in the day, it's pretty much all protein and fat, to help regulate my blood sugar. You know, basically fasting from carbohydrates for a little while, and it's honestly been working, man. You know, once in a while I'll treat myself to some to some carbs if I really have a craving, but consistency is the key. Okay, and just because I'm doing this doesn't mean that you need to do it like that. Okay, and just because Apostle Gabar was saying in his walk and talk the other day, man, he shies away a little bit from certain kinds of vegetables, but hey, if you could eat kale and spinach and it don't bother you, then have at it. Okay. Anyways, let me continue reading this in 2 Peter 2:6, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemn them with an overthrow, making them an sample unto those that after should live ungodly. Okay, so that was the example, man. These people have gone way beyond that, way beyond Sodom and Gomorrah. And here's the point that we were trying to bring out the whole time. And delivered just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. Okay, and that's one of the things that eats into us. Okay, is that eats into our minds is that filthy conversation of the wicked. Okay, the conversations of these people out here, man. I mean, if you're a young brother in this truth, a lot of times you kind of feel alone. Okay, it's honestly better to have a small circle. I'm just speaking from experience. Because these people, Satan will jump on these people to try and take your energy. They'll try and, take some of your thoughts with them. Make you thinking about them. Taking your focus. Okay, and another thing is vexation and stress, man. Verse 8, for that righteous man dwelling among them and seeing and hearing vexed his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds. And it is vexing, man. But you gotta do what you can to limit that vexation, man. Not let it eat at you. Okay? Verse 9, the Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished. Okay? So the Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations.
That's why you got to trust in him. Because at the end of the day, I was listening to the brothers in Dallas on my way from work, and Yashawamba said, he said, you think that we've been doing this all of these years, you think we can just do this on our own? He says, since 2007, I've been doing this every week, and that goes for other brothers who came in at your particular times. But the consistency that we have in this truth, it's not of us, and that work that we've put in through the Spirit of the Lord, it's worthy of a reward. Going back to that scripture right there, the Lord knows how to get the ungodly out of what? Temptations. So this labor that we're doing, which is not of us, but it's still worthy of a reward, man. That's why it shouldn't be a thing that you try to fight. Like, I don't want to do the work. I don't want to do a video. I'd rather do this. I'd rather do that. It's like, hey, take care of the Lord, and the Lord will take care of you. Right? You show the Lord that, you know.
Seek ye the kingdom first, and all these things shall be added unto you.
Yeah, just remember that this,
Okay.
you know, this comes first, man. Like, because if you don't put the Lord first, like sometimes I wonder, like if I'm not doing the Lord's work, you know, hey, the Lord gonna fuck me up one way or another. He gonna subtract something away, you know. So you gotta make sure that you taking care of your Habashim Yashai and doing what He asked of you, all right? Because He gave us this gift and His knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to let us know who we are as a people, man. And He gave us this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, which is really the kingdom. So don't hide your talents, man. Go ahead.
2 Timothy 1:7. For the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushai. That's another thing we gotta keep pushing out there is the name.
His name.
Okay, you got Israelites that ain't calling on the name, man.
Mm-hmm.
Dealing with all these churches and all that nonsense, trying to unite Israel and Christ.
Yeah.
For the Most High hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. And we're really gonna need that soundness of mind in the times that we're coming, man. You know, you look at a lot of guys throughout the time that we've been in this truth. You know, so a lot of guys just they don't have that soundness of mind and they bug the fuck out because this truth is a lot to handle. You know, not no average Joe can just handle this, man. You know, you had that one guy who he was vandalizing the church and got arrested.
Oh yeah, that bug out, the New Testament guy.
The New Covenant guy. He said that he was Yahweh Shai.
Oh, the New Covenant, yeah.
He said he was Yahweh Shai, and he said that Apostle R would die in 40 days or some shit. And now look, your ass is behind bars, man. And I seen the last video you posted. You were like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go get this money and we're gonna come up and we're gonna change everything.
Mm-hmm. That just shows you right there that you got a lot of individuals who go off in the faith and they go off and they do their own thing, but they end up cooked, pretty much, if you will. They end up cooked.
You made an example of, man.
Yeah, you be made an example of, and that's why the scriptures tell us to continue thou in the things which we've learned. You know, ever since we've been in this faith, we've never wavered or went off track or tried to change the doctrine or spoke bad about the men that taught us or tried to make ourselves higher than what we are. You know, it's all about staying in order. It's all about if you got a camp, you know, you make sure your camp is good. You take care of the camp, and you be a brother, and you make sure shit is running smooth. Ain't no wayward doctrines going around. Ain't no because we had to kick plenty of people out. We had to move on from plenty of people because shit wasn't right. You know? And then it's crazy how we kicked plenty of people out. And then the affiliate brothers kind of, you know, now they camp with us a lot more. So there's kind of like the Lord kind of like replaced it. You know?
And they had to kick a lot of people out.
Yeah, too. So the Lord kind of like balanced shit out. Like they teach the same doctrine, you know. We all the same brothers in the spirit. You know, we all got the same doctrine, and you know, it's the same doctrine. You know, they just don't have GMS on their name, but when we're around those brothers, it feels good.
Yeah.
You know? That's because in the spirit, things are how it's supposed to be. So the Lord align things in different ways, man. He'll remove people and move and replace, remove and replace, and move pieces around until it's exactly how He wants it. You know?
Well, there's been plenty of examples of the pieces that have been removed. You know? I was thinking about this on the way here. Where the hell's ITR at? Remember them fucking clowns?
Yeah, Chicago. Yeah. Even the two Mississippi maniacs.
Oh yeah,
you know? So the Lord, you know, dudes, they'll have their little moment of getting views and fame, and then they fizzle out. And the apostles and elders have always said that. That's what happened to dudes when you truly don't have the Spirit of the Lord on you. You fizzle out.
Those bug outs from Milwaukee that broke off and said, I'll put $10,000. I'll fight any brother in GMS. I remember that shit, man. Then the Lord remembers, and He's got you. You're no longer involved.
Mm-hmm.
You've been excommunicated.
Fallouts of a feather flock together, man.
You dureth, but for a little while. All right, that's in Matthew 13, the parable of the sower. Mm-hmm. This is 2 Timothy, back in 2 Timothy 1:8. Be not thou therefore ashamed of the testimony of our Lord, nor of me his prisoner, but be thou partaker of the afflictions of the gospel according to the power of the Most High. Right, so we have to be a partaker of the afflictions, man. You know,
that's what comes with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a part of it. You're gonna be afflicted. You're gonna be tested. You're gonna be battle tested. Just read the books of the ancient prophets and the disciples and the men of the Lord that follow Yahweh Shai. Just starting on the larger scale, they were put to death. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of that's a huge affliction.
And brothers have different afflictions, man. You may have some brothers
ailments in the body.
Yep, ailments in the body. Some it may be financial. Some it may be their woman or their kids left them or whatever. You know,
that happened to a lot of brothers, man.
Yeah.
A lot of brothers may not tell those stories, but a lot of brothers, when they came into this truth, their woman, they might have had kids with a woman and she's like, nah, I can't get down with that. And maybe the brother tried to explain it to her and she just couldn't see it. And she took that man's kids and left. Mm-hmm. And he eventually endured because he knew that he was in it to win it. Mm-hmm. So now the woman took his kids, and of course, if she leaves, that was his girl, so he loves her too. So he got basically like hurt two birds in one stone. But the good thing about it is, you brothers that endure those type of things, the Lord's gonna give you that back, man. Mm-hmm.
Well, hey, there's been brothers that have had their houses destroyed in natural disasters, man. Mm-hmm. That's serious stuff.
Brothers lost their jobs.
Yep.
Brothers lost businesses.
Been heckled, been harassed.
You had certain people send in videos of brothers teaching to their jobs, and they end up losing their jobs and their businesses. Those are all afflictions that mm-hmm. brothers have endured and still came out on top.
And all that is coming back to you, man. That's a sin unto death, man, defrauding a man of his wages.
Yep. It's gonna come back on the individuals who did it, and for the brothers who lost something, you're gonna get that back 100-fold. Mm-hmm. So don't even worry about it. It may hurt when it happens, but you're gonna get those things back 100-fold, man. And you may have got a business taken away in this society, but then the Lord comes back and gives you something 1,000 times better. And that's what's beautiful about this truth. But this truth is really a thing of patience. That's why the scriptures say, woe unto you that has lost patience. What will you do when the Lord shall visit you? It's really about being patient and just being circumspect and watching how Yahweh Shai is working. All right? Because like I said, right now, Esau has this thing where he's attacking free speech, man. So that could be a snowball effect to the truth. Mm-hmm. Here it is, you got motherfuckers joking and talking shit about a dude who a lot of people didn't even know till he got popped, and they getting fired from their jobs, man. Hell, if we say the wrong thing, the algorithm might pick it up. They may flag us, flag the channel. There was one time where Esau was flagging so many fucking videos. That was the time where brothers said, you know what? That's when brothers really started coming up with the code chat.
Yeah, code words.
Because he was on a fucking mad spree, man. Every brother was getting flagged. Matter of fact, brothers was just getting pages taken down.
Man, my personal channel is Gmsgreatwaters 5.
Yeah.
5.
we had, yeah. So we went through 5 GMS Great Waters pages. We had a GMS Buffalo, GMS Buffalo old channel.
Mm-hmm.
We probably done ran through about 5-6 pages. You know,
that one GMS Great Waters too. That one hit. That one hurt.
Yeah, GMS Great Waters too.
that one hurt.
That was like
a few, you know.
That was like a gold album. They took that motherfucker out. We all was mad.
We was hurt.
We was hurt. We was hurt, man. That was like a gold album right there, bro.
I mean, you know, your channel gets taken down. You've got a few thousand subs, and you got to start all over again.
It was a lot of work went into that page,
and it was bullshit. The reason why they took it down, man. You know, it was bullshit. I still remember why they took it down. I'm not gonna really repeat it, but it was over exposing a so-called false flag incident, man, and it was absolutely a false flag. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say on it. This is Matthew 19:28, and Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
That proves that the men of the Lord are reincarnated. They're back. You know, they're back today, and they're gonna sit with Yahushua. They're gonna judge the people. Go ahead.
And everyone that hath forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, okay, because that I could see that being a big issue. You know, people for you know, brothers losing their homes or whatever, man, or you know, some order comes down. I'm trying to, you know, word it in code, or something comes down, or if you don't receive the you know what, the C-hit, that
you don't comply,
your house has to be condemned, or you can't live in a house.
Yeah, we're gonna seize this land. We're gonna seize this house,
and it might be yours. You know, not necessarily renting, but you might actually pretty much own that shit, right? Well, the men of the Lord had to deal with that back then too. Okay, for my name's sake shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life. So everything that you lose and give up on this side, okay, you're going to receive it that much more. Okay, 100-fold. Actually, let me put this in the chat. Bear with me. Uh-oh. It says I'm out. Offline.
Look at how much is 100-fold.
Yeah. 100-fold in terms of percentages is 9,900%. So almost 10,000%. You know, you double your money, that's considered 100% gain. You know, you turn $100 into $1,000, that's considered 1,000% gain. You know, so that's 10,000 would be taking $100, putting it in the fucking slot machine, or you know, which we don't go to casinos like that, okay, or you know, putting on a game or whatever, or an investment, and you get $10,000 back out of $100. You know, just to put it into perspective.
You're getting more than your heart's desire.
Exactly.
Hey man, that's why to bring this thing full circle, man, you gotta stay circumspect and watch as well as pray.
Actually, let me get that.
You know, watch as well as pray, man, because at the end of the day, nothing in this world, you know, is worth more than Yahweh Shai, man. Go ahead, we close it on that.
This is Ephesians 5:15. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil.
Gotta walk circumspect. Gotta be circumspect.
Mm-hmm.
You know, redeeming the time because the days are evil. We've been telling you evil days were coming. We've been telling you so much. Shit, it should be drilled in your ears by now. It should be drilled in your head. Go ahead.
Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is.
Mm-hmm.
And what does it say about the simple? How long you simple ones?
We love simplicity.
Exactly. Okay. How long you simple ones are you gonna love simplicity, man? So don't be like these simpletons out here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these people are all NPCs in the Matrix, man. Like when you play a game, a game, and there's like 100 different players just walking around. They don't do nothing. They don't got no dialogue. They ain't got no purpose.
They're just extras in the movie.
Yep. Just for the scenery.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's a lot of these people's mindsets, man. They're, you know, and you can't really feel bad for them because the Most High set it up like that.
Right.
Like these Christians, they want to fucking jump for joy and say Jesus loves you to every fucking person, man. That's another 2-hour topic right there.
Hey man, right. But hey, that was it.
Yeah, is Jesus gonna love them when he's well, which you know we know his name is not Jesus. When he's starving them to death and killing their children,
they're gonna say that's not Jesus. Jesus wouldn't do that. That's gotta be that Hebrew God. And then they're not gonna be able to say his name. Then he's gonna destroy them too. Hey, so with that, Lord willing, you are edified. All praise, honor, and glory is due to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rakakadash. Double honor to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth through the Holy Spirit. Peace and blessings and salutations to the elect. Lord willing, you are edified. Shalom.